What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego on the back with some more boxing. I gotta bake another one. I just felt like going live. I gotta bake another one. Y'all gotta crank that Soldier Boy to get the likes up. Y'all gotta get the likes up. I don't know what gives. Tech Cuisine said, Ego, my other YouTube channel got monetized. Congratulations. You got to keep pushing. Anything's possible if you keep pushing. The first person, Artman. Shout out to Artman. First person in the chat. Niter, Cali, Tech Cuisine. Shout out to Alexandre, who just subscribed. Yeah, make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe. We about to talk about it. We gonna cook on this whole Bud Crawford, Errol Spence shenanigans. Should be a good show. Shout out to my channel members, Adrian, King Style Productions, you dig. My shooters, Cursor, Niter, who's also a channel member. You dig. Let's go. We got to get the likes up, though. I'm running a business, y'all. We got to get the likes up. Let's go. B Jack, what's up? Like salute, absolutely. Somebody said I got Spence. Brian said he got Spence winning. Yeah, if they fight. I hope they fight. Oh, my man Boss Red, so you know y'all dead. My man Boss Red in here. Boss Red gonna make sure y'all dead. Now, right now I'm eating some nuts. Pause. They saying I'm nuts. We're gonna find out. Let me establish the ground rules and we'll get started with the show. On my channel, I treat this like a court case. So all I ask from all y'all, the only thing I'm asking for is when I break down the points, listen, comprehend before you add a whole bunch of stuff and just interpret it to see if what I'm saying makes sense. So basically, since I treat this like a court case, what I'm saying is give me a fair trial. I need a fair trial. So listen, comprehend, hear the points I'm making, and analyze if what I'm saying makes sense. Like, the boxing game has gotten soft, where a lot of people, they don't even want to have an adult-like dialogue. It always resorts to name calling and you suck, you're bi, stuff like that. I'm trying to have a real-life conversation about Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, what's being said, what has been said, and the whole 9 yards. Let's get it. It's magic, y'all. Shout out to my boy Kevin Slims. He sent $5. He added $5 to the pot. Salute EGOD in the chat. Congrats on hitting the 300K. A testament to your hard work and discipline. I see you already on the road to 400. Man, like I said, we working. I told you we was going to close the year strong. I don't be lying. I really set goals. I really set goals on this, and I crush them. Let's do a quick boxing ego roll call. City, state, zip, area code. Let me know where you guys are from. City, state, zip. Let's go. My name is Ego, representing California. Let's go. We need to do the roll call, and then we get to the business. Tech Cuisine, appreciate you. Jackson, Mississippi. Trenton, New Jersey. 609. DMV in the building. 440. Ohio. Act like y'all know. He said, God did. Philadelphia, PA 215. You know that. Let's go. I'm about to massacre y'all. Can y'all hurry this up? Shout out to Florida. Fort Lauderdale. 954. I want to body y'all so bad. I be like, listen, I be waiting, listening, seeing what people say, observe, and I come back. The only way for me to come back is this ego belly. That's what y'all got. So let's get it. So there's a lot going on with Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. ESPN's writing articles, which I'm definitely going to question some aspects of that. Diego 619. Let's get it. And you guys just have to pay attention to the arguments I make. Sacktown 916. What's good? That's all I want. Just pay attention, listen. Tell me if I'm lying, which you know I'm not. So ESPN came out with an article yesterday, and it says Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, it faltered and is in danger and jeopardy. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, it's in jeopardy. May have to move off the November 19th date. I made videos about it. Some people seen it on wherever, Instagram, Twitter, read the article, whatever, right? So now it's time to work. So ESPN, I told you, I treat this like a court case. So ESPN writer Mike Coppinger said the fight is in danger on the November 19th date. Terms, Crawford's not satisfied with certain aspects of it because he wants, quote, full transparency, right? 2 weeks before that, ESPN, the same writer, put out an article saying, like, basically the fight was agreed and the fight was on its way and imminent. So let's get into it. It's about to get real intimate. Shout out to Richmond, California. So right there, that doesn't make sense. The first article said that Terence Crawford had signed his portion, and they had agreed. But then there was other information that was delivered that said Crawford had signed and the pressure was on Errol Spence Jr. Who else heard that in boxing? Who else heard that the fight was agreed? The material terms is what they said on ESPN. Who heard that? Who heard that the material terms were agreed and then later heard that Crawford had signed his part and we were waiting for Errol Spence? We were waiting for Errol Spence. And then all the Bud buddies joined forces like Voltron to suggest that Errol Spence is ducking and he's had the contract for all this time and he's shaking in his boots. He didn't want to sign and all that stuff. Who heard these things? Shout out to my boy Niter. So my thing is this. How was the fight agreed, all material terms, meaning like the heaviest stuff to iron out, according to ESPN, and then 2 weeks later, they say the fight's in jeopardy, and it's because of Crawford's side. That's what the article said. It said Terence Crawford, he wanted, full transparency on, event expenses because he's not getting a guarantee. Man, stop. That doesn't make sense. I need someone to break it down. If you think that all that makes sense, explain it to the crowd. Because I don't see how a reporter can say 2 weeks ago that the fight was agreed. All the material terms were agreed to. Then 2 weeks later, it's not agreed clearly because Terence Crawford, the same reporter, is saying Terence Crawford has new demands or, things he's not comfortable with. Once again, how is Al Heyman being blamed? How is Errol Spence and his team being blamed I'm waiting. Please, somebody, please let me know. I can't wait to catch this body in here. Like I said, I do this like a court case. Y'all gotta wake up. How does that make any sense? Two weeks ago, ESPN said they agreed to the material terms, and then now, 2 weeks later, they're saying that the fight may fall apart, or at least for that particular day, because Terence Crawford is not happy with something. Then how did he agree? And then why were there reports that he had signed and the pressure was on Errol Spence? And this is coming from Team Crawford that was saying that. So I need somebody to explain this stuff for me. How is it agreed if there's discrepancies that could cost the fight to not be on that November 19th date? Please let me know how that even makes any sense remotely. Asante, what's up? He representing 216 Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Let's get it. Yeah, we're gonna be waiting all night because I'm waiting for y'all. I asked the question. We doing it like a court case. I'm asking the question. So I need somebody to let me know how that makes sense. I think Bud needs a new team. How the B side demanding so much. Church. Shout out to Nick, too legit. Listen, to get through this stream, y'all gonna have to answer my questions. Because see, this is why it's hard for me to even do the hot seat anymore that I created, right? Because this is what always happens. Like I'll make a video, right? And people on Instagram, Twitter, they hit me up. You know, I get a lot of support. But there's also people who say, "Oh, you're biased. You're hating." Where are any of these people? Where are any of the people stand up and the same stuff you was tweeting me? That's why I went live. The same stuff you was tweeting me and hitting me up and leaving comments and commenting on the videos on YouTube, which I get paid for either way. Where's all that energy? I'm asking a direct question, which requires a direct answer. ESPN said the fight was agreed, the material terms, for November 19th. 2 weeks later, the same reporter with the same outfit, ESPN, says there's a major stumbling block that they haven't overcome that could force the fight off of that date. So that doesn't make sense. Then it wasn't agreed. And then furthermore, part B of my question is the fact that there were members of Team Crawford's team that said the pressure was on Errol because Bud gave into every demand and painted the picture like Errol Spence was just sitting around shaking and, not trying to sign the contract. They probably just prematurely reported that it was agreed because the two teams agreed, or maybe some basic contractual terms. That's not what it said, though. You trying to cop a plea, but that's not what it said. They have agreed on all material terms. So you making up some scenario. See, listen, just admit I'm the greatest. That's it. I'm gonna just do shorter live streams because it's clearly y'all don't got no work for me, bro. Did you read the article? Because that's not what it said. You just made something up. You literally just made something up and probably didn't read the article. And now you're saying I'm not a boxing guru, so I'm not sure. But that's y'all doing random guessing. I'm not doing random guesses. I'm not guessing. I'm talking about stuff that's in print, stuff that's been said, something where you could trace it back to. So explain that. How is Terence Crawford? How did he sign? But then now they're saying the fight's in jeopardy of that particular date because there's more things to hash out. That's what I'm saying. It's looking shaky, man. It's looking real shaky. Shout out to my man Asante. He said he sent $5 in the Zelle. Let's get it. Cursor in the building. We got the Midwest. He said keep up the grind. Shout out to my man Asante L. That, like I said, today I got time. I'm trying to see where y'all coming from it. Because all I was hearing was Errol Spence is ducking. Why won't he sign? Crawford already signed his part. But how is that true if there's discrepancies? So they said it was agreed. And then now they're saying it can't move any further until this is cleared up. Somebody has to budge. And listen, the thing that's super, I can't even say shocking because I don't get shocked in my line of work anymore. But the thing is, I don't know if some people weren't around on my channel. They weren't into boxing at the time. But my past work predicted this whole scenario with Bud. The position he is in now, my past videos forecasted that this would be the case. I knew he was going to run out of viable options with Top Rank at welterweight before Errol Spence did. I told you that. I knew Errol Spence had bigger fights that he can, pack some crowds and people would be happy with. I told you that. I knew Terence Crawford was double stuck because even if he wanted to move up, Al Heyman has the best guys at 54. So he has really the best guys at 47 and the best guys at 54. Shout out to Spider Rico. Battle Rap Rod, what's up? So this was easy to see a mile away that Bud would be in this predicament that he's in right now. So why do I say that? I say that because business is about leverage. Bud's leverage is not in my opinion, he doesn't have the leverage that it appears he thinks he has. Shout out to my man, Mickey. He said the re-signing with Bob Arum killed him. Bro, that's what I'm saying. And the thing is, bro, Terence Crawford, I'm not talking about the actual fight, but everything business side, Crawford loses. Crawford's older. He's 35. Errol Spence is a couple years younger. So you don't have age on your side. That's a fact. You can go to Wikipedia, look at their ages. Errol's younger. Crawford's older. So you don't have age on your side, right? The way you've been branded with Top Rank and ESPN or the lack thereof, you don't have any advantages there either. Because the way Errol has been branded and put before audiences and the audiences he's done in the, butts and seats, pay-per-views, it's all superior to Crawford. Bud Crawford has one belt that he got in his first welterweight fight. Errol Spence has 3 out of 4. So again, there's nothing that's showing me leverage. I don't care about undisputed in a previous division because that's like me saying I was the man at my last job, but you don't work there anymore. So you're not the man here. Everything is like you hit the refresh button. The man just want to see the books. Well, did the man want to see the books to Bob Arum? Because I don't remember any fight being stalled out or delayed because he punked Bob Arum and said, hey, show me all the back end money or whatever the expense sheet is. Did Bud Crawford ask Daniel Kinahan, a reported Irish gangster, to see the books? What y'all talking about? See, listen, It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly for a lot of y'all because y'all know y'all can't get out of this. You can't outthink me. You can't make more sense than what I'm saying. Smash the like button. Boom. Did Terence Crawford? I could predict how weak y'all come with the rationale, so I prepare for it. My question: did Terence Crawford get transparency to see how Daniel Kinahan was getting and rationing his money, or is it just needed from PBC? Boom. Boxing advisor and suspected mob boss Daniel Kinahan has a growing influence. Who is that a picture of? Oh, that's right, Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford and a reported gangster from Ireland who has a $5 million bounty on his head. And that's from the feds. Boom. The U.S. has imposed sanctions against 7 members of this Kinahan gang. Daniel Kinahan, 44, has been previously named by the Irish courts as the head of one of the Europe's most prominent drug gangs. That doesn't sound too savory, right? And I said this, the fact that ESPN is promoting that PBC and Al Heyman is ducking the Spence Crawford fight, but they've literally said nothing about the Daniel Kinahan situation. And he was working with guys like Terence Crawford and Tyson Fury who fought on that network. I'm showing you. So again, it's looking shaky. So all this like, oh, open up your books and show me. Look, I mean, we ain't done enough. I could keep going, man. Stephen Espinoza says it will be a problem if Daniel Kinahan has played a role in arranging Crawford's upcoming fight. I mean, I could keep going, man. I think y'all get the picture. I think you get the picture. So people keep saying, oh, he's owed the books. Why didn't he do that to Bob Arum then? Why didn't he do that to Daniel Kinahan? So let me get this straight. Terrence Bud Crawford out of Omaha, Nebraska. Seems like he wants certain things, according to this article, if the article is correct. Seems like he wants things done in good faith and he wants, to make sure his money's on the up and up. You're doing that with the black advisor, Al Heyman, and let's say Showtime, Mexican-American, Stephen Espinoza. So there's a black and a Mexican-American that would probably try to put this fight on. I don't know if it would go to Fox, so I'll just assume that it would be Showtime, right? Because Errol Spence's last fight was on Showtime. So when it's a black advisor, Al Heyman, and a Mexican-American, Stephen Espinoza, who have been responsible for boxing's biggest events ever, because keep in mind when the Pacquiao fight happened, Floyd was on Showtime and he was the A side. So they've been involved in the biggest business fights and the biggest grossing fights of all time. These are the people that you got to be sure. Listen to what I'm saying. These are the people where you're second guessing if you're going to get paid correctly. Not Bob Arum and all of his fighters left him, from Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Mikey Garcia had a lawsuit, Andy Ruiz Jr., Mikey Garcia had the lawsuit. I think I just said that. Leo Santa Cruz left. Floyd left. Cotto left. De La Hoya left. So you don't have, you don't have no issues with them. And Top Rank got raided by the feds. Manny Pacquiao left. And his last fight with Top Rank, he said he was set up. And Bud was with Manny Pacquiao on the same side of the street. And they never fought. Oh, okay. Daniel Kinahan, all the stuff, they did a panorama documentary. They did a documentary on what him and his gang have done, allegedly, or whatever. And one of it was a shooting at a weigh-in to a fight. So you can entrust your career with them, no problems. But then when it comes to PBC, who's done the biggest business in boxing history, Floyd has this is not my opinion. If you look at the Las Vegas, rap sheet of the top grossing boxing fights ever, Floyd's all through that. Because Vegas became his second home. Cam Fuego, what's up? Hardest working man in show business. Thanks for blazing the trail for all of us up and coming. Absolutely. So I find that funny. I find that funny that, you know, things like Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia seemed like he had some serious disdain for Arum after the fact. I remember he was driving in a red car and he did like a, you know, Instagram live and he was like, F Bob Arum. Keith Thurman, who was never signed to Top Rank, full disclosure, he said the same thing. He was like, yeah, Crawford, blah, blah, blah. You should have left Bob, blah, blah, blah. But Bud doesn't have a problem spending the the majority of his career with Top Rank, even re-signing to Top Rank before the Benavidez fight, right? This other dude, Daniel Kinahan, they saying he's been involved. Like, bro, the feds don't just come looking for you. That's not a thing. If they have to first, you have to be on their radar for them to even look at you. Listen, there's nobody in boxing that's finna play me, bro. Because you don't got the smarts to do it. You don't have the mental clarity or dexterity to get in your bag and outthink me. It's not gonna happen. The feds, they have like a 90% conviction rate, right? Meaning they go to the judge, get the wiretap, warrant or whatever, so they could bug out the mafia's home, listen to the calls. They got informants, all these things. The feds don't come looking for you overnight, like, you know what I'm saying, unless you just did one, like 9/11 or something, like just something crazy. But in general, the feds, they're building cases. Even the Tekashi 6ix9ine, they were building that case. They're like, oh, okay, there was a shooting at the Barclay. Write this down, and they was listening, had undercovers, all types of stuff, right? So it's funny that Bud Crawford seemingly has no problem in trusting, Bob Arum. He's a Jewish male from New York. Daniel Kinahan, he's an Irish reported cartel leader, gang member, whatever. And he had no problem with that. But then you're questioning the legitimacy of the funds or whatever the expense. Like, oh, I got to make sure. So I got to make sure these people don't play with me. But see, this is the thing. Bob Arum has done nothing since Crawford was leaving. Like even before Crawford left. Block King MPR. Don't you ever condescend me. Block him. Get him out of here. You're no longer welcome. Get him out. Shout to cursing. Who next? Step up. Step up. Who next? He got bodied quick. The fight is going to happen. I never said it wasn't going to happen. What are you even talking about? I never said the fight won't happen. That's not even what we're talking about. Bro, listen to me. I told you I only want a few things from it. Here, listen, we got to get the likes up though. Love your consistency, ego. Thank you. Finally, people talking with sense. BJack 215. Bud doesn't have a good rap sheet when it comes to making business decisions. Literally. No one has said anything else about Bud other than that. No one says he can't fight. No one says he don't whoop some ASS. Nobody says he's not a nice guy. Nobody said he's not a good father. None of that is what this is about. This is about business decisions and career management from Bud Crawford. It's that simple. But here, listen, I'm trying to say it as eloquently as I can. Sometimes in life, it's like cards. You got to learn when to fold. You got to learn when to fold. Bud Crawford, even if he's doing like making negotiations, at some point, if you demand too much and they feel they can't provide it, then they'll just be like, F this. And then they'll have Errol fight Keith Thurman or Stanionis or whatever else they got up for him. You see what I'm saying? Bro, you got to know when you have leverage. You got to know when you have leverage. Bud's leverage is one belt off of a champion that really shouldn't have been champion. Like, let's be real. Is that cap or fact? Is that cap or fact? Bud has one belt in this division, welterweight, off of a guy who should have never been champion to begin with. Is that cap or is that fact? Shout out to Nider. And for those who haven't been able to keep up, that's Jeff Horn. Yes, Jeff Horn shouldn't have been a champion, bro. He definitely lost to Pacquiao. That's why Teddy Atlas got fired from ESPN, because he was cussing everybody out because it was a travesty. So Bud, his bargaining chip in this division is, I knocked everybody out. He did do that. But the thing is, you haven't had an Errol Spence schedule. You see what I'm saying? You didn't, okay, Crawford knocked out Sean Porter. True. But Errol fought Sean Porter the same year Sean Porter fought Ugas, months after. So Sean Porter was sharp, versus when Bud fought him, it was pretty tough of a fight. And Sean Porter was on a 400+ day layoff, and he had gotten into telecasting and podcasting. So it's hard for me to match those two up as if they fought the same Sean Porter. Sean Porter also said, not my words, his. He said he knew he was retiring. He said he knew he was retiring after. Listen, y'all got 5 minutes to get the likes up or the stream is over. I told you, y'all not going to play with my time. It's impossible. I'm one person. I'm not going to spread myself thin. If the engagement ain't there, it ain't there. Cool. But I'll definitely be out. So 5 minutes on the clock. I'll give you out to 7:30. If the likes ain't improving, then I'm out. Just like that. I'll come back at another time. So anyway, Podcast Porter is who Crawford fought. And the only people offended by this are the people who don't want to admit facts. Because nobody's going to sit up here and tell me to my face that everything I'm saying is not true when you can't. You can't. I could start that. You wouldn't even want to do that. You wouldn't even want to do that because I'm a creator. I have all of this stuff saved. Like from Tyson Fury, Daniel, my boy. I have all those videos. I have Bob Arum video and I have bookmarks where Bob Arum is saying that what's the name is with Kinahan. I have all of these things at my disposal. So you can't even do that. See, look at Myth. He said the Porter that fought Bud was a shell of the Porter who fought Spence. I mean, facts. I mean, he didn't look, and even that version of Porter still gave Crawford a pretty tough fight. His team said that he was down. So it's like, bro, and that's like arguably his best win at welterweight. So it's like for Bud's welterweight run, it's not even so much the names he fought, more so the place that they were at the time in which he fought them. Listen, I didn't want to have to do this, but y'all made me. Bud Crawford's deal at welterweight, like I said, it's not like he just fought like necessarily people you had never heard of. Excuses. Boxing business is always the consumer's fault. We have to understand A side, B side, leverage. What do you block him? The fact that you even made me read that junk and he wasn't even talking about nothing, bro. What are you talking about? Excuses. Block him. Get him out of here, bro. Listen, I'm not here for the time wasters. You wasted my time and you wasn't even talking about nothing. He's talking about excuses. I thought he was talking to me. I don't even know what you talking about, cuz. I don't know what cuz talking about. Anyway, the thing with Crawford is this. Yeah, he had to go. You know he was waiting, bro. What about that stupid comment he left? Get him out of here. Y'all gonna get him out of here. Yo, boom. So Bud doesn't get any credit. Block him too. You an idiot. Who next? When did I ever say Bud didn't get any credit? I didn't say that. I never said that. Bro. Oh my gosh. It's still. Bro, did it. Hold on. Let's vote. Did you hear, if you heard me say that Terence Crawford gets no credit for fighting Porter, then put in for no. If you heard me say that I'm not giving Crawford any credit for fighting Porter, say yes if you heard me say that. So yes or no. Bro, some of y'all, you're trying to go against the grain so much to the point where you look foolish, bro. It's crazy. It don't, and the thing is, I get paid for this. I don't look bad. I know what I'm saying. I never said Crawford gets no credit for fighting Porter. I brought up factual information. Crawford fought Porter and he said he talked to the doctor and he had arthritis in his hip. That's what Sean said. I have the tape. You could go find the same information. I said Sean Porter was on a 400 plus day layoff. He was on a 400 plus day layoff. So once again, what we have here is a failure to communicate. People are saying I'm wrong without the ability to prove me wrong. They're saying, "Oh, you're you're a hate." That's what dumb up say when they can't prove you wrong. That like if I was wrong, like let's say Porter fought for Maya 2 months before Crawford, and I was going around saying he was on a 400-day layoff. Okay, that would make sense. It would make sense because I misspoke, but I'm not misspeaking. They go to the ESPN telecast when Sean Porter was walking out. It literally showed you he was on a 400 plus day layoff. So all the bud buddies or whatever, you looking crazy because you're trying to. It's like it's like little kids. You know when little kids get sleepy and they trying to stay up and they trying to force this. They trying to force themselves to stay up and the sleep is whooping their ass. That's what a lot of the bud buddies and a lot of old media. That's what they do. They trying to. You know you're tired. Just go to bed. Just close your eyes and wake up the next day. But little kids be trying to. And they try to reposition, bro. You're tired. Go to bed. That's it. That's how the bud buddies is acting. They acting like little kids that's tired, falling asleep, and they're like, I'm just resting my eyes. You're asleep. That means your body's telling you something. You see? Your body's telling you. That's why it's shutting down like that. Because you're physically exhausted. Terence, Crawford, the bud buddies, that's what they doing. Everything I'm saying is true, and they're like trying to force it not to be true. That's not how it works, though. He said Bud's issue is he signs Scottie Pippen deals with Arum, but that's not PBC's fault. That's okay, if I date a girl and her last dude was an a-hole and he abused her, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I didn't do that to her. You see what I'm saying? So you can like come to me for comfort and, tell me your story, but you can't hold your story against me because I'm not him. I'm not that guy. That was Rodney or whoever you was with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't do that to you. So how you going to date me and take things that your ex did out on me? That's not, come on, bro. Yeah, get the likes up. So yeah, if he's felt like he got abused or whatever with the top rank situation, that don't have nothing to do with PBC. Oh, look at Philly Zoe. Philly Zoe, he's asking a great question. How you ask for expense reports and you're not putting up the bread? And then I'm gonna piggyback off that. If that ESPN article is true, how are you asking for expense reports, but you didn't do that with a Jewish promoter, Bob Arum, and you didn't do it to Daniel Kinahan? Good block, Nighter. Bro. And the crazy thing is, I'm talking regular English. I haven't, insulted Bud's manhood, but the losery Bud Buddy fans is coming in the comment section saying all this hootenanny, name calling, all that. It just shows you I'm the greatest. It shows you what it is. It shows you they can't prove me wrong. Because if you could prove me wrong, that would be the first line of defense. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's a riots in the city, they don't just automatically declare martial law, right? Like let's say the Rodney King beating led to LA riots. They don't just immediately say, oh, martial law. However, if the city turns into Gotham City and they can't control it, then they're going to declare martial law. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, we need to bring the military in. This is not like we're under siege and it's not safe out here. It's looking like Gotham with no Batman. So now we're declaring martial law. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you're not going to always escalate things to the highest order. So if these fans had something to add to the conversation where they could prove me wrong, that would be their first line of defense. If I said Sean Porter was on a 400+ day layoff, if they could prove me wrong, they would, but they can't. That's why they resort to name calling. Like, listen, if I say anything, if y'all say anything that opposes Bud Crawford, his perspective or whatever, then you're automatically a Spence fanboy. You know what I'm saying? You're a PBC lover and all this goofy stuff, which is code words. That's code words for a lot of people. So for you to see the truth and bring up, points of contention, now you got to be an Errol Spence lover and, PBC meat writer and all this other extra stuff. You can't just be talking about what's real. That's why I said they shooting blanks. But we, Eagles Army, fully loaded. I got respect for Bud, as do I. I just never believe he really wants to fight Spence. He might do it to prove the fans wrong, but he don't really want to fight. Listen, no one's talking about this at all, but I will. I also think Bud being out of the ring for so long, like literally today is October. He last fought in like October, November, and he's only been fighting one time a year. I don't know that his team wants to put him straight in with put it this way. Would you? If you're an undefeated fighter, you got a huge rivalry with someone, would you want to fight him off of a year layoff? Possibly a year plus, and go straight into that battle. And I understand Terence Crawford stays in shape. He stays training. You see him at the fights and stuff. He's always in shape. So that's part of it. But that's sparring and staying in shape ain't under the bright lights fighting in front of millions of people watching. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, I know I wouldn't want to, if I'm fighting someone who's supposed to be my nemesis and the guy that can potentially beat me, I wouldn't want to fight him off a 1 year layoff. So, it could be stuff like that too at play. Because that's a big ask. Because this has become, the Crawford Spence saga is becoming one of those, where the names are Canelo, Triple G, Mayweather, Pacquiao. It's becoming one like that where the names are becoming synonymous for the other person. Bro, look at how idiotic these people are. Bro, he said, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you here on my nuts. That doesn't even make sense. Bro, listen to the brain dead zombies. They keep saying, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, but they're not proving me wrong. Listen, any one of you cowards, please tell me what I've said that was incorrect. If you can't do that, then stay silent. So back to what I was saying. Sean Porter said he knew he was retiring. Sean Porter said he had arthritis in his hip. Sean Porter had already done like Triller, Ring City, PBC shows, like that one with Kate Abdo, and the podcast by the time he was fighting against Terence Crawford. That's all fact. If you can't deal with facts, that's your fault. I can't rewrite history. So I'm not giving the same amount of credit to the version of Terence Crawford or the version of Sean Porter that Errol Spence fought. I mean, this is all fact. People are like, oh, like I'm reaching. Kenny Porter and Sean Porter both concurred and agreed that Kenny said it first maybe, but he said Sean Porter didn't train like how I wanted to and how I previously wanted him. So what would cause that? I've seen Sean Porter train and he gets busy. So maybe him being a podcaster and making money possibly took away some of that hunger. You have to really want to be in this sport to be in it. We all know that. So that's the thing, is like, it's not the same version of the fighter. And then they keep double downing on the fact that they're friends. It's not the same fight. Errol Spence was making fun of Sean Porter's shoes and saying you fight like you can't, like you drowning. You an in shape street fighter and stuff that was ticking off Porter. So it wasn't like a friendship. Like Porter was probably trying to hurt him for real. You know what I'm saying? Just to make him pay for the stuff he was saying in the buildup. But versus Bud, they go paintballing. There's pictures of them right now. You can find them on Twitter. They've been paintballing and stuff. So it's like, to me, it's not the same. And that's arguably Bud's best win at welterweight. Block Jackson. You can't even spell Coppinger. Bro, get these bums out of here. Pack of bums. He talking about Max Kellerman. Like he the voice of boxing. Bro, I could destroy y'all just like that. Max Kellerman said Canelo is like James Toney. That's also Max Kellerman. If you're gonna quote him, quote all the stuff he's saying. He said Canelo like James Toney. Canelo ain't no muff James Toney. James Toney? Oh my, see now y'all starting to piss me off. Don't ever compare Cinnabon to James Toney. But that's what Max Kellerman said. He said Canelo like James Toney type. No, he's not. James Toney, for real. Like, I don't know. Tony. It never rains in Southern California. Bro, he might be Tony. But come on, bro. He might be Tony Braxton. Can touch the sky when I'm around you, baby. I can touch you make my tip. Tony, or Tony Braxton. Unbreak my heart. Say you'll love me again. Don't ever compare him to James Toney ever again. And I told you the Tonys you can compare him to. Tony Braxton. I can touch the sky when I'm around you, baby. Yeah. Get him out of here, bro. So I don't care what he talking about. He also said he believes Mayweather convincingly beat Pacquiao, but he said Pacquiao's still the best fighter of this generation. Bro, why did they fight if you were going to still say Pacquiao the best fighter of this generation, no matter the outcome? Like that's buffoonery. I'll take Canelo career over James Toney career. You ain't gonna take nothing but these shots. Get him out of here. He said he'll take a Canelo career. Bro, James Toney ain't losing to Bevo. He gotta go, man.
Yeah.
It feels so good blocking y'all.
Yeah.
Man, bro, I like it too much when I just be. I just be blocking.
Yeah.
I just be blocking at y'all. Shout out to my shooters, man. Bro. I'm gonna block all y'all.
Yeah.
Say something smart. I'm gonna block all y'all.
Yeah.
I'm about to block all y'all, bro. So anyway, that ESPN article sound like some cap. It sound like some cap, because 2 weeks ago they said he signed, or it was said it was agreed to the material terms, and then now they're saying Terence Crawford is not happy with the expenses. Listen, I'm gonna tell you how this is gonna go. Terence Crawford does not have the leverage that he and his team may think they have. So you're gonna push your luck, and maybe try to get as much as you can out the situation, and then the fight happens, hopefully. But if you push your luck, you press your luck too crazy, then they're gonna move on without you. And Crawford's gonna be stuck with no options. bro. So I'm telling you, this stretched out charade, I hope they figure it out. I hope they get it so the fans can get it. So the fans can get to work. Tony sent $1. Shout out to, how you got the same name of what I was just talking about. Appreciate you. So I'm telling you, that is 2 ways this can play out. 2 ways. 2 ways it could play out. And I've been right with everything else since and forecasted this stuff, so you might want to listen. 2 ways that this can play out. 1, Crawford keeps demanding whatever he's demanding, and then his demands are met just because, they want to make the fight and feel they can do it or whatever. And then cool, we all get a great fight. Crawford and Errol Spence. Or option B is if Crawford demands too much and then PBC decides like, all right, he's tripping. He like, you know what I'm saying? This is too much. We'll walk away. Bro, PBC walked away from Canelo. So, bro, if you're going to walk away from Canelo, who generates more money, then PBC will definitely walk away from Terence Crawford. Caleb Plant and Canelo were in negotiations, and then they said Canelo kept wanting more and more and more and more and more and more. And then it just got to a point where it was an impasse, and they're like, nah. And then Canelo pump fake like he was going to fight Bivol, and then he came back to Al Heyman. It's going to be the same thing. So either they start wrapping it up soon, and then we get the fight, or it's already done behind closed doors or whatever. Or option B, if you have 2 crazy demands, they're going to move on without you. Crawford has no options, bro. If option B happens, he has very little options that make any sense. Shout out to Adrian from Philippines. Canelo gas out Tony. He did. Hey, you wrong, bro. He said gas. Hey, Adrian, that was a bar. Yo, Adrian, that was a bar. He said Canelo gas out Tony instead of lights out. That was a bar. Listen, y'all getting barred up. Bud know he not knocking out Spence, and running won't help him all night. I've been had Spence 9th or 10th round stoppage. Real talk. Carl Brown said that. Bro, I'm telling you. And again, nobody's mentioning this. Errol is younger, and Crawford has only fought 1 time a year for the last 2 years. And if he doesn't, like, that's another reason why it's like, I don't know. It just seems weird for whoever, like the way Bud conducts his business. It truly does. Because, bro, it's been about a year since you last fought. So the more the negotiations stretch out and the more that keeps getting add on or needed to be sorted out, to me, it kind of hurts Crawford more because he has had the lesser activity. Errol just fought Ugas in like April, May. I think it was April. You see what I'm saying? If this keeps stringing out, it'll be to a point where Crawford been out the ring 19 months. You know what I'm saying? Or at least 19 might be a little much, but 13, 14 months. That's not out of the question here. Because you know what? Let me stop playing games with it, cuz. I'm gonna stop playing games. Listen. I'm gonna stop playing games with you. All right. Boom. So, what did it say? Crawford versus Sean Porter was November 20th, 2021. So, literally, if he were to fight Errol on November 19th, then he's a day shy of being out of the ring for a year. But if they get off the date like the ESPN was suggesting, then if they get off that November 19th date, because November 19th is a Saturday. So he last fought November 20th against Sean Porter. So they're not going to probably do the fight on a November 20th. If the 19th won't work, then it's probably going to be a whole different calendar week, right? So if it doesn't happen November 19th, then by the time they do fight, Crawford will have been out of the ring at least a year. That's fact. I just showed you. Because he last fought Sean Porter November 20th of last year. And Bud on Twitter talking about I'm Call of Duty. All right, bro. Enjoy that video game. Have you been following Ocampo? He hasn't lost a fight yet. Everybody Crawford fought been getting washed by everybody. Damn. Yeah, I seen Ocampo. He got knockouts too. A lot of them fights that he was fighting, and he's about to fight Sebastian Fundora. That's actually a good card too. So I'm telling you, you can go one or two ways, but either way, Bud doesn't have the leverage, bro. He don't have the leverage at all. Like, again, you can keep doing it, keep like, stringing it out, negotiations, keep pressing, because from what I understand about the business of boxing, and really even how PBC does business, is they're gonna, try to make the effort, but the show must go on. If like, imagine if your friend, you was telling them, hey, you don't have time to go to this coffee shop, and then you have to get on a train for an important business meeting. I mean, it gets to a point where you just got to get on that train. And if they miss the train, that's on them. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I think PBC they're going to try to make the fight. But if it labors on too much, then I think it'll get to a point where they'll just be like, all right, you're on your own, Bud. And Bud really will be on his own. Listen, put it this way. If Bud doesn't fight a PBC guy, who is he going to fight? That makes real money. Because Bud, like, bro, see, here's the thing, bro, I'm telling you, I've seen the ending of the movie before. It's like I've been here before. Like I'm clairvoyant. Look, you have to work with these people, dog. You have to. Bob Arum was paying you $4 to $10 million roughly, right? I don't know his exact, but some of it was in that lawsuit. So I'll just say $4 to $10 million. Outside of PBC fighters, where can you get a Bud fight where that fight can get him a $6 million, $10 million guarantee? Name someone he could fight. Name, like, that's not PBC. That's what I'm saying. You don't have leverage, bro. You're surrounded. PBC has all the leverage, true, but maybe they're asking a bit too much from Bud. What do you mean? What are they asking? Asking what? Bro, listen. Y'all trying to play games with me. In business is not fair. People are going to do what they do in business. Like, if you're selling, I don't know, a car, then somebody's going to always try to see how much they can get it for, the lowest they can get. That's business, bro. Any business. The thing is, you have to learn not to take, when you see, I've done like business dealings, like all my affiliate marketing, that's all business dealings. You know what I mean? So we have to agree on a number and all that type of stuff. So when you own a business, you understand how this kind of works. And at the end of the day, when it comes to a business dealing, you just have to conduct the business. It's not there for you to get mad. People are going to try to lowball you. That's just the reality of it. People are going to try to, if you go try to get a job right now at Costco and then you're starting, you want $25, they'll probably try to work that number down. Be like, hey, we can't pay you 25, but what about 16? That's business. Ask Yar Hussein, my guy. I gotta ask Ego, do we as fans support any other fight that Crawford or Spence has? If not, with each other? If we do, I think it sends a message to the matchmakers. They can just shovel off ish like Canelo. Your thoughts? I mean, nah. I personally, I think Errol Spence has more options. So I could see myself definitely still being interested in whoever Errol Spence fights because he has a lot of options, right? Oh my gosh, this man is going crazy. All right. He says, for example, reports are Bud is already getting the short end of the split with no guarantee. Bud is just asking for more transparency reportedly, is that an unreasonable ask for Bud Crawford? Why does ESPN and you keep saying that he's getting the short end of this split? That's what happens. If you are the B side, as I've stated, Bud is in this equation, the B side, then you will get, that's not even a talking point. That's just reality. I don't understand why you guys, like, let's say I was selling a blender, right? Your blender, you want to highlight all the features of we got the sharpest blades from Japan. Oh, it has 12 speeds. Oh, you can make soup with this. You could puree things with it, right? That's like highlighting the bullet points and like trying to make you want to buy the blender, right? They wouldn't say something like, oh, buy this blender because it comes with the cord to plug it in the wall. That wouldn't make sense. Because it come with a cord to plug it in the wall. It needs that's not a selling point. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you have a blender and it's an electric blender, because I haven't really seen a battery operated blender like a regular size Vitamix blender, and they're not going to highlight the fact that it comes with a cord. That's customary. That's standard. That's standard issue that a blender that's electric is going to have a wall plug that's built in. You don't really highlight that. Bud Crawford, y'all keep talking about, oh, but Bud, he's taking the short end of the money. That's what happens when you're the B side. It's that simple. I guarantee you Mean Machine made less money than Bud. It's the same thing. It's not really a talking point. It's the reality. Bud is up here and we don't know who the Mean Machine is like that. Bud is the one that people are coming to see, not Lean Green Machine. So you take this little money. It's common sense. Nobody is like crying a river for Mean Machine because he took less money. That's what's supposed to happen. Bud is the guy that had money invested in him. He's the better fighter. He proved it that night by beating Mean Machine, right? Of course, Mean Machine got to take lower money. That's what happens. So I don't. People are acting like Terence Crawford gave up so much. No, he just did what any B side would have to do. It's so mind numbing and mind boggling that people are highlighting this as if this is something praiseworthy, but it's just the reality of how boxing has always ran. When Floyd fought De La Hoya, Oscar De La Hoya was the man. He was the golden boy. Guess what? Floyd got a 33% split when it all was panned out, and De La Hoya got 67%. Bro, 67% to 33%. It's a pretty big difference. But that's what Floyd had to go through in order to, and then he became the man after that because he beat De La Hoya. You see how this works? Right? It's not really hard to understand. Mayweather had to make certain concessions to get the fight off the ground. Still made great money. That was probably the most money he had made to that point in his career. Still made amazing money. And then he became Money Mayweather right after that. So I have a quote that I came up with. I see a lot of people jacked it. Everybody wants to be Money Mayweather without going through the Pretty Boy Floyd stages. Terence Crawford, unequivocally, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, is the B-side over or under Errol Spence in this equation. So just like Mean Machine will have to take less money and it's going to say Crawford, Kavalaskis, that's Bud's role in this equation. Now, if Bud fought someone where he's the A-side over that person, like if Bud fought Sergey Lipinets, then it would say Crawford Lipinets because he's the bigger person. He's the bigger draw, bigger act, won't. He's undefeated, blah, blah, blah. So you guys keep saying like, oh, but like Bud, like that just shows you kind of an ego, no pun intended. That shows you an ego if you guys are taking it, Bud not getting the lion's share or not getting 50-50, which I told you he wasn't going to get, and you're taking it as if it's some huge concession he made. He didn't really make a concession. He just did that's what any fighter has to do. Canelo, if he fights anyone, there's no one in the last several years that has made more money than him. Is that cap or fact? All of Canelo's opponents made significantly less than him the last several years since he's been on DAZN. Is that cap or fact? Let me know. Is that cap or fact? Every Canelo opponent on DAZN and Showtime in the last several years made less money than Canelo. So that means Caleb Plant made less. Caleb Smith made less. Rocky Fielding, Danny Jacobs, Kovalev, they all made less. But guess what? Bivol made less. Kovalev made less. Those were champions in a division that Canelo had no experience. But Canelo being Canelo, he was the A side. So y'all want to overcomplicate this. Canelo, he's the man. He's the one people are paying to see in these equations. So the dance partner, the B side, takes less money. I'm not giving Crawford additional extra credit. Like that's like a teacher giving you extra credit on your assignment because you wrote your name and the date at the top. Y'all sound crazy, bro. Y'all say I'm crazy. I'm crazy, bro. If your teacher had an assignment and she wasn't grading on the curve, but she gave you extra points because you wrote your name, because you wrote the date, that's not praiseworthy. It says name underscore or a little line date. You got to write your name and date. You're gonna be graded on the essay. Crawford will be graded by his performance versus Errol Spence. Cap 10 million is better than no guaranteed money. What are you talking about? Where's the 10 million? What are you talking about? Hey, block here. Get him out of here, bro. Get him out of here. 10 million is guaranteed. Then what is he talking about? Bro, and that was idiotic anyway. He said 10 million is better than no guaranteed money. Y'all, this is crazy. It's a bunch of people that don't have businesses explaining to me how the business of boxing works. Who's been making money in this sport for several years. Okay. Shout out to Ask Errol who's there. Crawford is the B-side in my Bob Arum voice. Bro. Me and Business Brain, we qualify because we have businesses. So we could talk that business talk. We could talk that boss talk. Y'all just let y'all jaws talk. Me and Business Brain, we can talk that boss talk. Listen, I said, as far as I'm concerned, y'all all ops. Y'all just let y'all jaws talk. Me and Business Brain, we own businesses. So we can always engage in some boss talk. Y'all can't have this conversation. You don't have no business. You don't got two nickels to rub together. You trying to tell me, bro. Bro, 10 million is not better. So what if the pay-per-view is $80 and it sold 1.3 million? Everybody's saying they want to see it. So you tell me you would rather take 10 million than to take whatever, amount plus the back end money. In addition, a lot of y'all are effing idiots because see the difference with me, I'm a real man. I'm the apex. I'm an apex predator. I'm an alpha, right? A lot of you beta males, you don't even have consistency with how you live your life. You don't have no consistency. What do I mean? Let's take it back. I'm going to take y'all on a trip down memory lane. When Wilder was undefeated and he was a champion with 1 belt, Joshua was a champion with 3 belts, right? Eddie Hearn, he lowballed Deontay Wilder, said we'll give you like 12 million or whatever it was, $10.2 million, no pay-per-view to fight Joshua. I'm like, oh, Joshua, he's this big star in UK. He got 3 belts. And they was trying to offer him $10-12 million to Wilder. Come on, bro. But then Terence Crawford, everybody said Wilder's got to take the money and just, that's what I'm saying. You don't have no consistency. You don't have no consistency. When Wilder was the champion with 1 belt and Joshua had 3, and he was considered the bigger draw because he had like UK audiences, y'all said Wilder's stupid. Wilder got to just take the short money. Wilder got to just do whatever and then get more money if you can beat Joshua. But now all of a sudden, these principles that they once had, they don't have it when Bud's in the same position that Wilder was in, if not worse. You know what I mean? Because Wilder was must-see TV. Bud, he's a fun fighter too, but he also got itted on by his promoter and That never happened. Wilder's promoter wasn't throwing him under the bus and stuff like that. So it's funny when Wilder had the 1 belt and Joshua had 3, everyone said, oh, Wilder, just do whatever to get the fight. And if you're so good, get more money in the rematch. And then now they're not saying that to Crawford. And he's supremely the B-side. Shout out to Major. He said, right, they want to pick and choose when they want to say take the short money. That's the whole point I'm making. Exactly. All of a sudden, when it's Wilder and he got 1 belt, they say, oh, just take whatever they offer you. Now y'all talking about, oh, bro, we know the fight's people are going to want to see it, especially if there was if it was agreed, the sooner you agree, the better. Because some people, if anything, they're probably tired of the back and forth and they might lose interest in it. You see what I'm saying? So if Bud, got a reasonable offer or whatever, and then he takes it. Because what was reported was the winner gets the lion's share of the money and there's a built-in bilateral rematch clause. So Bud is pretty well covered. He said he's going to knock out. Did Bud say he'll knock out Errol Spence? Is that cap or fact? Bud said he's going to knock out Errol Spence. Cap or fact? Bud said he's going to knock out Spence. Cap or fact? Terence Crawford said he's going to knock out Errol Spence. Business Brain said facts. So what's the problem? What's the problem? If you're going, so based on the events that PBC does, I think it's ridiculous to assume that he would make far less money in a fight with Errol than whatever he was getting with Top Rank. That just doesn't even sound reasonable, because Top Rank, all of the pay-per-views they had with Bud Crawford were a bit forced, like Amir Khan. No one wanted to see that off of the Sammy Vargas performance, and you put it on pay-per-view. This is an actual great fight and a sellable fight. Block the McLean dude. So I don't even think it's reasonable to assume that there's any way that Bud can make less money than what he was making for the other things. And then again, he said he's going to knock out Errol Spence. We know from the reports that the winner of the second fight or the first fight gets the lion's share of the money, and it's a bilateral rematch clause. So not only you said you're going to knock him out, so that's a guaranteed win in your mind. And then in the rematch, you now have top billing. You also got, a second fight people will be curious about. So what's the problem? Of course, they didn't talk about the Daniel Kinahan connection, because that's what you do when you're trying to spread an agenda or propaganda. Angelo Haynes, appreciate you in the Cash App. He sent $1. Crawford's scared he's not going to get enough money. But here's the thing. I've been telling you throughout this thing. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from. I think Crawford is overvaluing himself. And I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way, like, because I do want to see fighters get paid because they are risking their lives. But what I'm saying is, I truly think Terence Crawford, it sounds like him and his team might have delusions of grandeur, where they think the 1 belt and in the past accomplishments and milestones and undisputed is enough to suggest that he can get, a higher amount of money. Now, here's an example. People keep saying like, oh, he's not taking the guarantee money, right? But you have to understand how this business of boxing works. Please. The way, this is just my speculation, but it's based on years of being in this sport. Most likely, the reason, because people keep highlighting that Crawford is not getting guaranteed money. Crawford doesn't have leverage. I've said this several times. Your own promoter said that you don't make money. So PBC is not going to break the bank saying, hey, we can guarantee you're going to get $22 million. That is only reserved for Canelo, Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, and guys like Pacquiao, because they know Pacquiao is he's like a blockbuster. Just think of Hollywood. Certain actors, their movies gross more than other actors. Like in the 90s, if you're Tom Cruise, you're Will Smith, now The Rock, they can afford to give you the bigger guarantees because they know if The Rock's playing Black Adam, he has a big fan base. He has a big base. So that makes sense. But Crawford's numbers, especially according to Bob Arum, haven't necessarily been the greatest financially. So why would they give him this bulky, chunky? PBC doesn't do business like that. They don't do business like DAZN, where you have a Canelo and a Triple G and nobody wants to see him fight at this point in time, and you pay out $75 million because it's a business. You need ROI. You need a return on that investment. Who wants to spend $75 million on Canelo Golovkin and then the gate ain't this crazy colossal gate? The amount of pay-per-views ain't this crazy. Now you're bleeding money. So PBC, from what I've seen, they don't really do that. They're not in the business of, like overvaluing the worth of a fight. That's why the business model that they're using in bigger fights that they're going to charge pay-per-view, then you can get additional money on the background, in the back end, right? So that's also, it's like incentivizing the fighters. Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, give us a great face-off. Give us a great press conference. Use your social media to help hype the fight. Now it's like you're working with the network to make sure this event is successful. Like, this is number one, probably one of the reasons that Canelo DAZN relationship probably can't last much longer, because Canelo, he's not really hyping up his fights. Canelo don't hype up his fights, but he's getting a guarantee of something crazy, 40, 50, 60, 90 mil, whatever they're paying him, right? And he's doing nothing to make you truly, truly excited for the fight. So that's my speculation. So people keep saying that like Bud is being, lowballed and stuff like that. It's not that you're being lowballed. You think you don't have the numbers to supplement probably what you're asking for. It's so amazing how unintelligent people really are, because they're emotional. I'm not saying this from a place of emotion. Like I said, I got pictures of me and Errol and me and Crawford in my phone right now. I could pull up. I supported both of their careers and still will. Just that ego has to explain speaks volumes about our school system. I'm just saying, like, bro, like, see, that's I seen in the reason why I'm saying this and why I believe it is because I predicted it. I already knew this was going to be Crawford was talking about he wants 60-40 lion's share or 50-50 or no fight. That's not realistic. Bro, how do you get 50-50? You got one belt against a guy who really shouldn't have been a champion, Jeff Horn. You don't have a resume at welterweight like Errol Spence. You don't have 3 belts like Errol Spence. You're not putting the same amount of butts in seats like Errol Spence. So that was a ask that doesn't make sense. So people are acting like, Crawford, he succumbed and stooped off his positioning, but that was always bound to happen. It's like, oh, but he's taking the smaller percentage. You have no choice. Do you understand me? If someone's a noted A-side and it can be proven like fiscally and financially, you have no choice but to take the lower share. Errol Spence told you that. He got interviewed and he's like, yeah, we give him 40%, 30%, whatever I say. He said something like that. That's business. And if Bud wanted to change it, he could have branded himself, or maybe like got out the Top Rank contract, bought himself out, and then been your own man for the last 5 years, and then got people hyped to see all your fights, or not resign. I mean, I'm not his advisor, so, and it's too late now anyway. All we know is the here and now. Bud doesn't. See, I'm gonna have to destroy y'all. Y'all don't get it until I destroy y'all. Some people, they need Boxing Ego to baptize them. It's cool. Y'all need boxing ego because y'all don't know about boxing, and you need me to baptize y'all. So I got y'all. Hey, get the likes up. We got to get the likes up so I can baptize them. If you want to see this baptism, stay tuned. Y'all got to get the likes up for the baptism. Yeah, a lot of people operating off of feelings. Not gonna get you nowhere. All right, get ready for the baptism. Hey, get the likes up. Get the likes up for the baptism. I didn't want to have to do this, but y'all made me. You see that? Can you smell it? Can you smell it? Can you do that to the Beach Boys? Can you do that to the Beach Boys? Hell nah. Bro, this is a graph. Errol Spence pay-per-view buys. They both did 3 fights on pay-per-view in their career. Crawford versus Postal did 50,000 buys. The lowest Errol one was the year of the pandemic against Danny Garcia, and it still did 250. Man, stop. I didn't want to have to do this, bro. So look, I just have to cover my face while I go over this. Crawford fought July 2016, April 2019, November 2021. See, a lot of y'all are busters and little babies. And when I start cooking y'all start name calling and say you're a Spence lover and PBC. But one thing you won't say is what I'm showing you is a lie. Is a lie. That's what y'all won't do. Y'all won't prove me wrong. So I don't care about nothing. Listen, I don't care about nothing else. I know you ain't gonna prove me wrong. That's what I do know. That's what I know. So they both had 3 pay-per-view fights to this point. Crawford in 2016, 19, and 2021. Postal fight was reported at 50,000. The Khan fight 150. And then the Porter fight had less some kind of way at 135. So Crawford has 335,000 on 3 pay-per-view fights. So you average that out, that's like, what is that, like 115, 105 a fight, something? 107 a fight. Errol Spence in 1 fight with Garcia did more than all of Crawford's 3 fights on pay-per-view. Errol Spence in 1 fight with Porter did more than all of Crawford's fights. So the Danny Garcia, which did the lowest at 250, that was also during the pandemic. I would imagine they would have sold a bigger live gate if we weren't in the pandemic year, right? And they probably would have, people were worried losing their jobs and stuff. So maybe that was, and it was in December, right around Christmas. So maybe that wasn't the best time to generate numbers. So Errol Spence collectively has done 960,000, and his events have sold 72 million based on those buys on Fox, versus Crawford 23.4. And still, I told you, didn't I just say that? That's what it takes sometimes. You take something from me, I come and get back. You beat me, okay. Bro, this stuff matters because when you go, like, imagine going to get a job, bro. They're going to base your wages and what position they put you in based on what? Your resume, your experience, your college education, your highest level of education. They look at that stuff. So why would the business of boxing be any different? All of Errol Spence's numbers, I told you, 3 Crawford fights. Errol has 2 individual fights, 2 individual pay-per-view fights that have outsold that. Block Shama. And the Kell Brook fight wasn't even on pay-per-view, but that had like 20,000, 25,000 people or whatever it was in the crowd. So that generated good money. How much did Crawford or Ricky Burns generate? I guarantee you they made more money with Kell Brook and Errol Spence than when Bud went overseas to far Ricky Burns. Okay. Ask y'all, we got to start calling them Crawford Cat fans, CCFs. Bro, so that's what I'm saying. Everyone keep talking about, oh, but Bud sacrificed. Bro, you have to sacrifice when you don't have the stats to back it up. Right? Like, look at NBA players. Guess what? If you're LeBron James, you're Steph Curry. Steph just won a ring again. He's going to get the best endorsement deals. He's going to get paid more than other Warriors. He's going to get paid more than other people in the league because it's the men lie, women lie, numbers don't. So if Bud is like, oh, I don't know his number, but if he went in there like, I want 30 million guaranteed, you don't have anything that would stipulate that would be a safe bet because you don't have, even though people are saying they want to see it, people also illegally stream these fights. We're in a different market. You know what I'm saying? So if your ask is too great, that's why they're probably, PBC is likely trying to give him something reasonable on the front end and then saying, hey, you'll make all your money in the back end. But Bud is probably so used to his experiences at Top Rank and they didn't promote his fights and the fights did trash numbers on pay-per-view. Not his fights on regular ESPN. I'm talking about the pay-per-view numbers. The numbers weren't good. Tank Davis has sold more numbers than Terence Crawford on pay-per-view. Right? So that's why you have to be reasonable in business. You could say, oh, I want $40 million, but Canelo could say, I want $40 million. I did good business with Golovkin twice. I did good business with Cotto. I have a Mayweather where we did 2.4 million pay-per-view buys. Everybody knows me. I have, look at my Instagram following. I've been in the game for 16 years or whatever, all these things. Bud thinks because he's Bud and he was undisputed, it seems like Bud feels he's entitled to, because here's the thing. You know how the saying says skills pay the bills? That's not entirely true in the business world. That's not entirely true. Especially in boxing. Have you, listen, I'm going to destroy y'all some more. Has anyone heard the saying skills pay the bills? Yes or no? Have you heard skills pay the bills saying? Any Bud fans have anything to do about the graph ego just cooked you with? They ain't got nothing to say. Okay, so people have heard it. Skills pay the bills. In boxing, it's not entirely true because guess what? Y'all tell me that Devin Haney got more skills than Tank. A lot of people say Shakur Stevenson got more skills than Tank. But guess what? Tank make more money than all the guys in or around his weight class. So skills pay the bills according to y'all. And I'm not saying Tank ain't got skills. That's what y'all talking about. I know Tank got skills. But what I'm saying is there's people that say Shakur Stevenson, his skills are on another level to Tank. But I guarantee you Shakur Stevenson's check ain't on another level to Tank because he's not even on pay-per-view. Where would the money come from? And Bob Arum's low-key cheap, to be honest. He low-key cheap. So where would all this extra money coming up with no pay-per-view revenue? So there's a ton of guys who are skilled. They're not making like, you know what I'm saying? Skilled, that's not, it doesn't really pay the bills. Bud comes from the Top Rank culture where they probably primed him, showed him pictures of Muhammad Ali in the hallway and Bob Arum. And then, they got good relationship with the deadline writers. So all Top Rank fighters get written about nicely and things like that. And then he got gassed up into thinking that translates into the business, and it don't, bro. There's a lot of, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of skilled guys. I don't mean they're getting the most money or the most bet. Like Broner got more opportunities even when he was like losing fights and having close fights and draws, but he was still making more than a lot of guys. So there could be I don't know, just somebody out there who's skilled, and Broner still was making way more than him, even when he was losing. So that's the same thing. I think Crawford, he thinks because I'm undisputed and I'm a great fighter, which he is. I'm a great fighter. I beat people down and, I had all stoppages. He thinks that translates to the business side, but that doesn't, bro. That's not even what's tabulated into something like a side value. Fairbanks, what's up? Shout out to Asante. Exactly. We have a bunch of skilled boxers that ain't making money. That's what I'm saying. People say skills pay the bills. It sounds cool, but there's a lot of skilled guys that ain't making the most money. So, I mean, like I said, if you overvalue yourself too crazy, then it is what it is. He said Andre Ward was the best, but that doesn't mean he made Mayweather money. That's what I'm saying. Facts, PBC don't care about your skill. I mean, I can't say they don't care about your skill, but they're a bit, oh my gosh, they're a business. You have to understand the business. Like, take yourself out your feelings and think about business and business metrics. Bro, are you good? If you owned a business, a boxing business, and I just showed you Crawford's numbers, literally, and that's his numbers. Are you going to give him a $32 million guarantee that you gave Floyd Mayweather to fight against Robert Guerrero? No, you wouldn't, because his numbers don't reflect that would be good for you. Money is not growing on trees and just falling from the sky. So you want to not like be cutthroat and lowball people, but you have to make it make sense for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it make sense, like from a business perspective. Like, okay, so you like, let's answer this question. Do you think DAZN made a lot of money or lost a lot of money with Canelo Golovkin 3 pay-per-view? Well, let's start there. I got to see how bad these takes are. Do you think that DAZN made a lot of money with Canelo Golovkin 3 or lost a lot of money? Okay, everyone's saying lost money. Then that means my job is done, because that's a perfect example of overvaluing a fight, and people have lost interest over the years. The last fight was like 5 years ago. People lost interest. Canelo lost a fight to Bivol, right? So it no longer had the same luster and value that it could have had if they had gotten off the ground sooner, right? So when you have all these fireworks and LED tunnel walkouts, paying for the venue lights, paying for the undercard and opponents, and then you have to pay Triple G and Canelo $75 million, you likely lost money, because it's too much. You thought you were going to have a big fight like Showtime had with Caleb Plant, but Showtime did a way better job of promoting that fight, right? Like, put it this way. It's not a mystery to me. Canelo had one recent fight on Showtime, and people seem a lot more satisfied than any of his DAZN fights. I'm talking about with the whole process and buildup, the slapping, the mushing each other's eyes and all that. People seem a lot more fulfilled with the all access treatment, the epilogue, the back talk and slapping and slap boxing and all that over any DAZN fight. But guess what? DAZN just had the Triple G and paid Canelo more than he made with PBC in terms of the guarantee, at least. So I'm schooling you on how business works. So yeah, you try to bankroll Canelo Triple G and people aren't interested in it like that, you're going to lose money. Bud has no numbers to suggest that he's this mega star. He's a mega fighter, mega skilled, but that's not what we're talking about. And that doesn't always translate. Like, Tevin Farmer got skills. That don't mean he make more than Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia. You see what I'm saying? Some people would say Tevin Farmer got more skills than Ryan, but doesn't mean Ryan make less than him. You see what I'm saying? Like, y'all got these lines so blurred, and it's really easy to understand. Bevo got skills. Obviously, he beat Canelo. Canelo made more money though. Do you believe? I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Do you believe Bevo made more money versus Canelo in the first fight? Did Bevo make more money than Canelo in the first fight? Did Bevo make more money than Canelo? No way. He said, did Bevo even get paid? I forgot about that. That's hilarious. Then that's another. I'm literally the greatest that's ever lived in this game because these points are just right on the money. Bevo was a champion. Canelo had no belts at 175 at that time. Is a skilled champion making less money? Because you're fighting Canelo. That's how. So no one believes Bevo made more of a salary. They didn't even want to pay Bevo, like my man Cursor said. They didn't even want to pay him. So Bevo, all them skills, and he's been boxing since he was a kid in Russia. He clearly had the skills to beat Canelo, but he still made less money than Canelo. This, my friend, is the boxing business. It doesn't work how, like, oh, I'm just the most skilled dude and I could do a ambidextrous Terence Crawford left or right, so you got to pay me left and right. That's not how it works, bro. And like I said, I think Crawford's mentality is like a top ranked archaic way of thinking. Bro, Jake Paul, there's some people don't even want him in the sport. There's people that don't even want him in the sport for real. But he making money and no one can take. You can't, it don't matter what you want. He making money. You see what I'm saying? So some people don't even want him in the sport, so they're never going to say Jake Paul's the most skilled person if you don't want him in the sport. But I guarantee you he's making more money than said skill fighter that you can think of. That I don't understand how much clearer I can be with this. So some people will say, and people are like, oh, but that's unfair. Life is unfair. Life is unfair, people. Business is unfair. Business ain't going to be fair to you. People going to push you, screw you, pull you, use you, abuse you, steal from you. Like business, that's business. Jake Paul made 40 million last year. See, there we go. Then he making top dollar, bro. So it's like, you can't tell me that, like, let's say Jaron Ennis. People are going to be like, Jaron Ennis got more skill, but he not making what Jake Paul made yet. He can, though, in the future. That's what I'm saying. Y'all confusing skills with what pays the bills. You confusing skills with the business, and it's not. Mayweather, he obviously got the most skills, but he also has the gift of gab, like he can sell the event. So it wasn't just his skills; it was his emceeing on the mic and 24/7s and stuff like that. That's what people were willing to play because, like, anybody. Like, why is in a way he got skills? Why he not a U.S. star? Bro, I guarantee you, in a way, could walk through the Beverly Hills Mall. Ain't nobody knowing who he is really. But he got skills. You see what I'm saying? Like, bro, y'all just keep talking about skills. Like that's the only like metric that like Crawford thinks, oh, I was undisputed at 140. So 8 years later or whatever, I'm the man still because I was undisputed. So 8 years later, despite Bob Arum throwing me under the bus, which Bud Crawford never really went off on Bob Arum. So despite him saying Bud is not profitable, I'm still worth this much. And people are like, oh, but he took the less split. That's what happens. You have to take the less split. There's no way around that. That's not like you making it sound like he did some cool stuff, like he donated to a charity. That's something out the goodness of your heart. I'm not going to overly credit someone for something you had to do. Look. Bob Arum, Terence Crawford are not a pay-per-view draw. He's lost money on every fight. Bro, I got to be the greatest. I got to be the greatest. I got to be the greatest. So with statements from your old promoter that worked for you 10, 11 years like that, I'm pretty sure that didn't do you any favors. You know what I'm saying? He said, I lost money on every fight. So why would PBC give in to all of Bud's demands? Because he's the missing link to Undisputed. Again, you got to be reasonable. Bro, I just showed you. Your last promoter is quoted saying every fight was a L. Bob Arum, Terence Crawford, not a pay-per-view draw. He's lost money on every fight. Top ranked promoter says his company is at their limits of what they can offer the welterweight champion going forward. Look, here's the link, everything you need. Well, Crawford, I think he's clearly one of the best fighters in the world. He's tremendously skilled. Unfortunately, he hasn't shown to be a fighter who's been a draw on pay-per-view for whatever reason. Bro, this is the guy who worked your career for the last several years. So we put him in the best fights we can, which aren't as good as Errol Spence's fights. Unfortunately, we lost money on every fight that he's done. And he keeps insisting, and I can't understand, and I can understand his point of view. I'm the best. I should get paid like the best. So if somebody's willing to come up with the money that Crawford is demanding, he should do a fight for some other promoter if he's going to make more money. So you keep saying Errol Spence is the problem, but I'm pretty sure that's the problem. Bro, I can't wait to cook y'all some more. Bro, your promoter just said he lost money on every one of your fights. And unfortunately, we're at our wits' end and we can't give him no more money. We can't give him the type of money he's asking because we keep losing. So why would PBC say, okay, this is a good fight, people want to see it, but if he keeps having like these extreme demands, why would they say, oh, that, bro, no one's trying to go. Let me simplify this because I'm killing y'all. Nobody is trying to go bankrupt to finance the wishes and hopes and ambitions of one singular talent. Doesn't make sense. Like, if I know these companies got money for sure, but again, ain't nobody trying to. If you could close your year strong from a fiscal year financial perspective, if you could close your year strong instead of taking a whopping loss in November by doing too much, then that's what you're going to try to do. Nobody is in the business to lose money. So it's the same thing kind of Bob Arum's been talking about. So hopefully, whatever Crawford wants to get this done, maybe they could fight a middle ground and we still get the fight. So I'm not telling you the fight won't happen. I hope it does. You know what I mean? And then like people are like, oh, the Bud Buddy saying, oh, if you don't agree with us, you're a Spence lover and all this Spence groupie and all this stuff. But if I was a Spence groupie and Crawford's team saying Spence is going to get knocked out, why am I telling you right here and now that I want to see the fight? It doesn't sound like it's been thought out. You said if Crawford fight Errol, he going to get knocked out. Then some of the Bud Buddies called Boxing Ego an Errol Spence lover. Why would I want to see the fight? That doesn't make sense. So if I'm an Errol Spence lover and I keep telling you I want to see the fight, and you're saying you're going to knock him out, why would I be pushing for the fight to happen? So you think I'm an Errol Spence only supporter and I love Errol Spence and you're telling me you're going to destroy him, but I'm pushing for you to make the fight. So I'm pushing for Errol Spence to get destroyed if I'm an Errol Spence lover. That doesn't even make sense. But this is the type of buffoonery that y'all come at the God with. The Elohim of this boxing. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't think this stuff through. Anybody who brings up facts on Bud, you're automatically an Errol Spence lover. But the same alleged Errol Spence lovers is pushing for the fight and want to see the fight. And you're saying you're going to destroy him. Crawford will destroy him and knock him out. Bomac said it. Crawford said it. Bernie said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that doesn't even make sense that you would be pushing for someone to get destroyed that you are obsessed with, or whatever there's, whatever Team Crawford and his fans are saying. Daniel Mason.
The money goes into my baby.
Real ego facts is something they got to deal with. Crawford is thinking public negotiations are helping this situation. I repeat, business is his weakness. Bro, business is his kryptonite. Shout out to Daniel Mason. For sure. And the sad part about it is this wasn't like a mastermind class. This is like basic business 101. And people are trying to overcomplicate it and make it sound like it's crazy. That what I'm saying. What's crazy is people ain't trying to break the bank and lose money. So the safer bet, and for whatever reason, maybe according to the ESPN report, maybe they don't get this. Maybe Terence Crawford's side don't get this. But they're not going to give you this whopping guarantee and then potentially lose money. So what they would do is, in essence, kind of meet you halfway and say, hey, we'll give you something reasonable that we could give you, and then you make your money on the back end. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's like if you were dating a girl and she was gonna friend zone you, and you knew she was gonna friend zone you, would you? And you like her, you like the girl, and you knew you never had a chance with her, and she was gonna friend zone you. Would you be spending a whole bunch of time, energy, and money on that girl? That's a serious question. If there's a girl that you had feelings for, and you knew she would never have feelings for you, and she was gonna put you in the friend zone, would you be giving her a down payment on her car, taking her shopping, taking her out to eat? Is that what you would do? Would you simp for her? Would y'all simp for her? If it was a one-way street, would you simp for her? My man from Houston, I know Houston, they ain't simping. Shout out to H-Town. He said, nope. He said, nope, but a trick would. So as it relates, nobody, if the vision is cloudy or it's not clear, then nobody's going to be jumping for joy in a business scenario to overpay you potentially. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the pay-per-view model makes sense in this case, where you make the bulk of your money on the, like, promote. All Crawford has to do is promote the fight well in Errol Spence. Then they'll definitely make more money. And then, obviously some of that's on PBC but they always do it. PBC put out the most content, like shoulder programming and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So why would Crawford think, bro, listen, I'm going to just say it like this, because I'm done playing games, bro. You entrusted Top Rank with your career. ESPN, they didn't even really celebrate you for real. They didn't roll out the red carpet for you. Fox and Showtime got crazy production value, and they always seem to, especially for their bigger fights, they put together stuff. So how do you don't have no problem entrusting Bob Arum and Top Rank for 10 to 11 years to handle your career, and they weren't even rolling out the red carpet for you. But everything that I've seen from Steven Espinoza, Showtime, PBC, they really make an effort, especially for their big fight, like Canelo-Caleb Plant. They really try to turn that into a spectacle, and it showed, because all of the slapping and the all accesses, people were hyped, and that's the best numbers Canelo done did since HBO. So I don't know. It seemed like if that article is true from ESPN, that seems like some paranoia from Crawford's side. But if anything, it's a new situation. You can't, like I said, a girl can't not trust you because her ex beat her. You know what I'm saying? If it didn't work out and Top Rank didn't prioritize you and stuff like that, that doesn't mean these new guys will treat you the same. So, like I said, I just want to see the fight. Prime example is Crawford and Pacquiao were on the same network for years and he never got the fight. Facts. That's what I'm saying. Listen, make the fight. I'm tapped in. They showed Tyson Fury and Loma crazy love, and Crawford better than both of them to me. He better than both of them. And see, that's why I'm just going to keep running my channel how I do it. Y'all can say whatever you want about me. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Because I did nothing but support Crawford's whole career, and I'll continue to do it. You know what I mean? But the truth hurts. Whether you want to hear it or not, it hurts. And Lomachenko and Tyson Fury had the red carpet treatment, and they didn't give that to you. And I think Crawford better than them. He harder to beat. Crawford harder to beat than Loma. Loma already got 2 losses. Crawford got triple the fights and no losses in multiple weight classes. But they praised Lomachenko like he was the Messiah. What did Lomachenko do that Crawford ain't done? Loma moved up. Crawford moved up. Names, what did Loma do? What did he do other than lose in less than 20 fights? He lost twice. That's the only thing he did different than Crawford. He ain't did nothing like crazy better. Crawford moved to a new division and knocked out everybody. Lomachenko's never done that. He couldn't even knock out Pedraza, who we seen get knocked out by Tank. Man, I'm done. I'm killing y'all. It's over.